In 1938, as Queen Marie of Romania lay dying at Pelishaw Castle, she made a request so shocking that even her own family hesitated. "Remove my heart," she whispered, "and bury it separately from my body." For 77 years, that heart would journey through war, revolution, and exile. But why did a British-born princess choose to literally give her heart to a foreign land? This isn't a tale of medieval superstition or ancient ritual. This is the story of a woman so devoted to her adopted homeland that she transformed from reluctant royal bride into beloved queen through sheer force of will, devastating personal loss, and a love affair with a country that wasn't even hers by birth. By the end of this story, you'll discover the 3 pivotal moments that transformed Marie from shy princess to national hero: her baptism by fire during World War I, her diplomatic triumph that doubled Romania's size, and the legendary sapphires that became her crown jewels. But first, you'll learn why her heart couldn't rest in peace for nearly 8 decades, and what that journey reveals about the true meaning of home. The reluctant bride. Picture this: 1875, and Princess Marie Alexandra Victoria of Edinburgh enters the world carrying the bloodlines of 2 great empires. Her father, Prince Alfred, was Queen Victoria's second son. Her mother, Grand Duchess Maria Alexandrovna, was the daughter of Tsar Alexander II of Russia. This wasn't just royal birth. This was destiny written in diplomatic treaties. But destiny, as Marie would learn, rarely unfolds as planned. Known affectionately as Missy to her family, Marie grew up in a world of privilege that spanned continents. Kent, Malta, Coburg. Her childhood was a grand tour of European courts. She possessed what contemporaries called sparkling blue eyes and silky fair hair. But more importantly, she had something rarer, an independent spirit that would both define and complicate her royal future. Can you imagine being 17 and facing such a choice? Marie found herself betrothed not to love, but to duty. Crown Prince Ferdinand of Romania was shy, bookish, and utterly unlike the vibrant young woman who was about to become his bride. Their 1893 wedding was a spectacle of 3 ceremonies: civil, Catholic, and Anglican. But behind the pageantry lay a profound mismatch. Ferdinand was described as introspective and inclined towards intellectual pursuits, while Marie was flirtatious, mischievous, and rode like a daredevil hussar. She later confessed to her mother about the emotional distance in her marriage. "All intimate life with a man is difficult for me." It was a confession that revealed the loneliness at the heart of her gilded cage. But Marie was nothing if not resilient. She poured her affection into her 6 children and began the slow process of falling in love, not with her husband, but with Romania itself. Little did she know that history would soon demand everything from her: her comfort, her safety, her children, and ultimately, her heart. The Soldier Queen. The first moment that transformed Marie came in 1914, when World War I erupted across Europe. Romania faced an agonizing choice of which side to join, and Marie became her adopted country's most passionate advocate for the Allies. Using her family connections to Tsar Nicholas II and King George V, she lobbied tirelessly for Romania to align with Britain and France. But when Romania finally entered the war in 1916 and disaster struck, Bucharest fell, the army retreated, and the nation seemed on the brink of collapse, Marie made a choice that would define her forever. Picture this extraordinary transformation. One day, Marie is wearing diamond tiaras in gilded ballrooms. The next, she's in a simple white nurse's uniform, her hands covered in blood, her royal jewels replaced by a Red Cross armband. The contrast couldn't be more stark or more powerful. Marie, rarely seen out of her white Red Cross dress, moved through field hospitals where typhus raged and hope had died. When her staff begged her to wear gloves while treating infected soldiers, Marie's response became legendary. "Don't you think it gives them more pleasure to kiss my uncovered hand?" This wasn't mere symbolism. This was a queen literally touching the suffering of her people, sharing their pain, refusing the protection that her rank could have provided. And then, in the depths of winter 1917, came the blow that nearly broke her. 3-year-old Prince Mircea, her baby, her youngest, fell ill with typhoid. Marie, who had fearlessly nursed thousands of soldiers, was powerless to save her own child. As bombs fell around them and the country crumbled, she held her dying son in her arms. The queen who could heal a nation couldn't heal her own heart. Yet even in her overwhelming grief, Marie chose to remain with her people, becoming what the foreign press called the Soldier Queen. The American newspapers proclaimed she was worth a whole army corps to Romania. But Marie had paid the ultimate price any mother can pay. She had lost a child while serving her nation. What Marie did next would shock the diplomatic world and change the map of Europe forever. The Diplomat Queen. The second transformative moment came in 1919 at the Paris Peace Conference that would redraw the map of Europe. Romania's Prime Minister was struggling to secure recognition for his country's sacrifices when Marie made a decision that scandalized the diplomatic establishment. She would go to Paris herself and fight for Romania's future. Arriving at the Ritz Hotel, Marie transformed diplomacy into theatre. She hosted salons that became the talk of Paris, charmed world leaders with her intelligence and passion, and made Romania's case with a combination of royal glamour and political acumen that left seasoned diplomats speechless. President Woodrow Wilson, initially cool toward royalty, found himself captivated despite his reservations. British Prime Minister David Lloyd George and French leader Georges Clemenceau were completely won over. The Western press dubbed her one of the most vivid and unforgettable personalities of the war. The results were extraordinary. Romania doubled in size, gaining Transylvania, Bessarabia, and Bukovina. Marie had achieved what seemed impossible. She had convinced the great powers to create Greater Romania through the sheer force of her personality and unwavering dedication. When she returned home triumphant, Marie proudly declared that she had given her country a face on the world stage. But she had given Romania something far more precious. She had given it her heart. The crown and the sapphires. That devotion was crystallized in one of the most symbolic moments in royal history: Marie's coronation in 1922. The ceremony took place in Alba Iulia, the historic city where Michael the Brave had once united the Romanian principalities. But the choice of crowns told a story that went far deeper than pageantry. Ferdinand wore the steel crown, not gold, not encrusted with diamonds, but forged from a cannon captured during Romania's fight for independence. Every Romanian understood the message. This monarchy was built on sacrifice, not privilege. Marie's crown was equally symbolic. Crafted from Transylvanian gold, literally from the soil of her adopted homeland, and designed in medieval Romanian style, it declared that this British-born princess had become more Romanian than many natives. When the crown touched her head, it wasn't just a coronation, it was a marriage between queen and country, sealed in precious metal. But Marie's devotion to Romania was crystallized in something even more precious than crowns, in the legendary sapphires that became her signature and her shield. In 1921, King Ferdinand made an extraordinary purchase that would define Marie's image forever: a 478-carat Ceylon sapphire, one of the largest polished sapphires in the world. When Marie first saw this magnificent stone, she was enchanted, writing in her diary, We went first to Cartier's to buy the superb sapphire necklace. It is a unique piece, it is superb, and the woman in me fills with joy, because jewels have always had a special significance in my family, a Russian inheritance. But this wasn't mere vanity. Marie understood something that many royals missed, that jewelry was a language of power, and she was about to become fluent in it. The great sapphire, suspended from a diamond sautoir chain, became Marie's diplomatic weapon. When she wore it to her 1922 coronation, its deep blue fire seemed to capture the very essence of Romania itself. The stone was so magnificent that it commanded attention in every room she entered, ensuring that when Marie spoke, the world listened. During her triumphant 1926 tour of America, crowds gathered not just to see the Queen of Romania, but to glimpse the legendary blue Empress sapphire. Society photographers captured her wearing it at glittering receptions from New York to California, and each image sent the same message. Romania was a nation of substance, ruled by a queen of extraordinary taste and power. The famous portrait by Philip de Laszlo immortalized both queen and sapphire together. Marie in flowing white silk, the great blue stone blazing at her throat like a piece of captured sky. It became one of the most recognizable royal portraits of the era, and the sapphire became as famous as the woman who wore it. Marie also collected other sapphires: the Vladimir sapphire kokoshnik tiara, starry sapphire brooches, and delicate sapphire earrings that she often paired with ropes of pearls. But it was always the great 478-carat stone that defined her image. Blue for loyalty, blue for depth, blue for the constancy of her love for Romania. After Marie's death, this beloved sapphire was inherited by her grandson, King Michael, and eventually, like so many royal treasures, it found its way to a museum in Qatar. But its legacy remained, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful crown jewel isn't worn on the head, but close to the heart. The ultimate gift. Throughout her life, Marie had collected the world's most precious gems: sapphires from Ceylon, diamonds from India, pearls from the depths of the ocean. But her most precious treasure wasn't kept in any vault. It beat in her chest, and she was about to give it away forever. As Marie aged, she began to contemplate her legacy. She had transformed Romania from a small Balkan kingdom into a major European power. She had nursed its soldiers, championed its cause, and literally put her life on the line for its survival. But she wanted to leave something more, something that would symbolize her eternal bond with the land she had chosen to love. In her final will, Marie made a request so unusual, so deeply personal, that it shocked even those who knew her best. She asked that upon her death, her heart be removed from her body and interred separately at Balchik, her beloved seaside palace on the Black Sea. Balchik was Marie's sanctuary, her quiet nest, where she had created magnificent gardens filled with exotic plants from around the world. She had built a chapel there, the Stella Maris, which she had personally decorated with sea motifs and icons. "In my soul lived an eager and eternal longing for the sea," she wrote, "my heart's place." When Marie died in 1938 at Pelishore Castle, her final words to her son were, "Be a just and strong monarch." Even in death, she was thinking of Romania's future. Her wishes were honored. Her heart was carefully removed, embalmed, and sealed in a silver casket. While her body was laid to rest alongside King Ferdinand in the royal mausoleum, her heart made its own journey to the chapel by the sea. The heart's journey. But Marie's heart would not rest peacefully. History had other plans, and what happened next reads like the most dramatic adventure story ever written. In 1940, just 2 years after her death, Romania was forced to cede the region containing Balchik to Bulgaria. Marie's heart, now on foreign soil, had to be rescued, and moved to Bran Castle in Transylvania for safekeeping. During the communist era, even Bran Castle wasn't safe. The chapel was vandalized by officials hostile to the monarchy, and in 1968, Marie's heart was moved again, this time to the National History Museum in Bucharest, where it remained in storage, largely forgotten for decades. Can you imagine? The heart of Romania's most beloved queen, sitting in a dusty basement, waiting for a nation to remember its love. It wasn't until 2015, after the fall of communism, that the Romanian people demanded their beloved queen's heart be given the honor it deserved. In a ceremony that brought tears to thousands of eyes, the silver casket was escorted by honor guards through the streets of Bucharest, draped in both Romanian and British flags. The heart found its final resting place at Pelișor Castle, in the very room where Marie had died, behind the couch where she had drawn her last breath. After 77 years of wandering, Marie's heart had come home. The eternal legacy. Today, visitors to Pelișor Castle can see that silver casket resting quietly in its place of honor. When Marie's heart was removed and placed in its silver container, Romania gained its most precious treasure, more valuable than any sapphire, more meaningful than any crown. This simple silver box contains something that couldn't be bought, stolen, or replicated: the genuine love of a queen for her people. Marie's story teaches us that love isn't always about the family you're born into. Sometimes it's about the family you choose. She chose Romania, and Romania chose her back. She gave the country her intelligence, her courage, her diplomatic skills, her legendary sapphires, and ultimately, her very heart. In a world where royal marriages were political arrangements and queens were expected to be decorative figures, Marie of Romania rewrote the rules. She proved that a queen could be a nurse, a diplomat, a mother, and a warrior all at once. She showed that true nobility isn't about bloodlines. It's about service, sacrifice, and love. Queen Marie of Romania was buried without her heart because she had already given it away, to a nation, to a people, to a love that proved stronger than death itself. In choosing where her heart would rest for eternity, she gave us the most beautiful definition of home. Not the place where you're born, but the place where you choose to love without reservation. Her heart still beats in Romania today, in every act of courage, every moment of sacrifice, every choice to put love of country above personal comfort. Marie's greatest crown wasn't made of gold or steel. It was made of devotion, and it will never tarnish. What would you be willing to sacrifice for love? Not romantic love, but the deeper love of purpose, of belonging, of finding your true home. Marie's choice challenges us all to consider what we would give our hearts to, and whether we have the courage to love that completely. If this story of a queen who literally gave her heart moved you, please give this video a heart of your own by hitting the like button. And subscribe for more untold stories of remarkable royal women who changed history through love, courage, and the most precious jewels of all, their unbreakable spirits.